I was driving through Montana headed east, and my company had miscalculated my mileage, so I requested an emergency fuel up. I got a response from the nearest gas station that I could get approved at. It wasn't exactly close. So I turned off the main highway and headed toward my stop. It's pitch black, there's no moon, no city light, and I haven't seen any headlights for about an hour. I'm cruising down the highway and I see something in the middle of the road at the furthest extent of my headlights, so I slow down, naturally, as I approach it. When I come to pass it, I get one good glance at it and slam on my brakes as I pass right in the middle of the highway. All I could think was, what did I just see? So I back up looking in my mirror until I see its red silhouette in my brake lights. I pull my brakes, put on my jacket and grab my flashlight and hop out. I walk to the back of my trailer and put my light on it, and there it was. A headless, skinless, mangled corpse. I froze and my jaw dropped. I didn't know what I was looking at. I just stood there, in the middle of the highway, in the cold, stagnant air. The only sound is the hum of my truck 50 feet back, watching the steam rise from this pile of meat. There was no fur, there was no clothing, just a fully intact ribcage with a mess of other miscellaneous bones attached by ligaments. I debated calling the police, as the ribcage looked big enough for someone my size, but I looked at my phone and had zero cell service. The nearest town was about 50 miles out. When I put my phone away, I flashed my light around, and standing at the end of the road were a handful of coyotes staring at me. Then they started coming through the fence and trotting in my direction. I figured this is the part where I get back in the truck before I get into a situation, so I did and continued on my way. I still to this day do not know if it was human or not. Whatever it was, and whatever had happened, I was almost a witness of. I convinced myself that it was more than likely a deer, and was hit by another truck like my own at highway speeds, that would definitely do significant damage. But in retrospect, I've never seen roadkill missing its flesh before. One night, I'm out getting gas, and after I leave I pull up to a red light behind a beater car, and we are both turning right onto a two-lane highway. We both make the right. His car doesn't go very fast, so I head for the left lane. He blocks me. I head for the right lane. He immediately kills his signal and cuts me off again. This continues for a little while before I get annoyed, gun it and go to pass him. Again, while in the process of passing, this guy takes a dive at my car, which slows me down. He's yelling at me out his window, "You aren't passing me, motherfucker," and laughing manically. We get caught at another light and he starts chucking stuff at my car. I check the traffic and gun it through the red. I'm sufficiently creeped out now. His car seems to be faster than I initially thought, and he is keeping up with me through traffic. In desperation I start turning off side streets, and he is following me. We get to another light and I ask what his problem is, and he screams, literally, screams, "You are going to die tonight." Holy fuck. So I chuck an old coffee into his car, turn off my lights and take the fuck off as fast as I can go. At this point stop lights aren't a concern anymore. I want to be pulled over. I'm ripping through little towns at 100 miles per hour, in 25 and 30 zones, and starting to lose him. Finally duck into another side street, somehow find a driveway that goes next to a garage, pull up next to the garage, lights off, car on, and wait. 1 minute, 3 minutes. 10 minutes. I finally get home about 45 minutes later, white as a ghost, call the police, didn't have my cell at the time, and report him in. I never found out what happened. I never saw him again. Literally thought I was going to be murdered, for nothing. Before we continue, please subscribe, like, comment and share. I was driving for Costco a few years back. It was around this time of year. We usually took extra toy shipments to various locations due to the holiday season. We got a call that one of our locations in rural Kentucky needed to restock their giant Spider-Man dolls. They knew I was a fast driver, so I was giving the last-minute late-night duty. I loaded my truck and headed out on the 265. It was around 3 a.m. when I started to have this eerie feeling. I chalked it up to just being tired and popped a couple of NoDoz. About 15 minutes later the road started to fog up. I mean more so than any other time before or since. It got to the point where I had to pull off to the side and wait. There weren't any other cars on the road and I was ahead of time, so I figured I could wait until it cleared up a bit. After about 5 minutes of sitting still in silence, my truck goes dead. No lights, no engine, nothing. I try my CB but cannot get anyone on. I check my cell phone and there is no signal. As I'm sitting there contemplating my next move, I hear what sounds like a child crying. It slowly morphed into a woman crying. Or at least that's what it sounded like to me. Now I'm a big man, 6 feet 3 inches, 250 pounds, but I refused to exit my cab. I did roll down my window and asked if anybody needed help. At that point, the crying stopped. Then I heard what sounded like a sinister laugh. At that point, I felt like the laughter was directed at me. I rolled up my window and it seemed like the more scared I became, the louder the laugh went. Then as soon as it started it stopped. And just like that my truck started back up and the fog dissipated. I drove out of there like a bat out of hell. I get to the next truck stop and pull in. I run to the bathroom and pour water on my face and ask myself, did that really just happen? My daughter was driving from Wichita Falls, Texas to Oklahoma City on I-44 to catch our plane home to PA. It was 4:05 a.m., I remember, because I was afraid we'd miss our flight, and the highway was empty. We were almost out of Lawton city limits when we saw an older model car, light blue or silver, launch off an embankment, and roll 3 or 4 times, end over end. I could actually see a human fly through the air. I pulled over and called 911 and gave them the GPS coordinates of the overpass. I asked the dispatch if I should back down the highway and she told me not to because there was an officer less than 2 minutes away. 20 minutes later, I get a call from the police, asking exactly where it was. I repeated the info. The officer said that he was sitting at that location and there was nothing there. Not a skid mark, broken glass or flattened grass. Nothing at all. When I got home, I Googled it. This is what I found out. Exactly 10 years prior, a group of teenagers were speeding down a suburban road when they lost control, flipped over a guide rail and rolled down the embankment. All 6 kids were killed. They were driving a 1986 Oldsmobile. The time of the accident: 4:05 a.m.